Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to Persona on the PSP. When we last left off, we stopped Kandori's ambitions, defeated him, saved the world, and we found out the origins of this whirlwind and what that means for our friend Maki. Basically, if you are just tuning in and didn't watch any of the previous episodes, Maki created the world with the power of her mind, and she is incredibly jealous because she's been stuck in the hospital for a year and kind of wants to commit suicide. So there's like this bad part of her brain that is trying to commit suicide by just shutting off the Deva system improperly. And then we have here in our party the ideal Maki, who is basically fighting after a short existential crisis, has decided to live and save herself. So anyway, off screen, after we came back onto the world map, the entire east side of the map is gone. So we're just on the west side here. We bought a bunch of new equipment. We upgraded our armor for Maki. She got the best stuff that she can wear in the game. And we went into the Mikage ruins and got some spell cards. And I made 3 personas. And I'll explain why I made each one of these personas. So I also moved Lilim to Reiji. Basically, he's going to be using Lilim for the rest of the game. That's his go-to persona in my mind. He's still on Shoki. Basically, I had Shoki set up the way I wanted Shoki to be set up a long time ago. And I'm using Shoki because, you know, he knows Medea Rahan, he's going to be a good healer. He knows Tarunda, he can debuff the boss, and Rakunda. Basically, Tarunda and Rakunda are the main reasons why I like using Shoki. The Medea Rahan is kind of a nice bonus. Gozu Tenno is good for random battles, but not really good for the final battle due to his incredibly low magic defense. Like, he's got, like a 74 magic defense. Pretty much you don't want to go into the final act of the game equipped with any personas with less than, I'd say, 100 magic defense. You will get squashed. Aizen Myoho is his original persona. No, Ogma. That's what we want here. So Ogma is the persona that I'm going to be taking into the final battle for him. He is a relative. I picked all of my personas because with ease of access in mind. Ogma is pretty good because he knows Heat Wave, which is really, really good in the final battle for attacking the final boss. He knows Sukunda, so he can debuff the final boss a little bit. He knows Dekunda, so he can, you know, remove any debuffs the final boss puts on you. In addition to that, this guy absorbs ice, and that's really important for the final battle because one of the final boss's main damaging attacks is ice. The attack to really worry about in the final battle is Butterfly Storm, but the boss doesn't really use it all that often, unless you get really unlucky. But the boss will use really damaging ice attacks and stuff like that, so you want to reduce that as much as you can. You can't really do anything on Butterfly Storm and when it comes to resistances and stuff because it's non-elemental, but absorbing ice is really good thing here. And that's another reason why I like Shoki, because he resists elements. So she's going to take less damage from that ice attack. And then Anko, I'm not going to be using Anko. What I'm going to be doing with Anko is I'm going to return him to get a weapon for Reiji. You can get an even better weapon from Loki, and Loki's not that hard to fuse. You can basically get all of the spell cards you need for both Anko and Loki on like the first 2 floors. The first 2 areas of the Mikage runs. You don't have to go very deep at all, even though they're relatively high level personas. There's a lot of personas like that, but I picked Anko because I'm not quite high enough level to get. Well, there's 2 reasons. One, you have to be have a persona level 51 to use Loki, and I have Azrael on my main character already. So the idea here is that by picking Anko, I can put Azrael on him, have the main character level Azrael as I'm going, and then have Maki work on Anko, and then when she's done, have her switch back to Phaleg. So, but anyway, Azrael nulls elements. Phaleg, we already know Phaleg nulls elements, so that's basically why I picked the final part. You'll see how it works out when we get there. So anyway, we're going to go into the Alea Shrine, if you'll let me go in. And unfortunately, we are not allowed to take our entire party into the Alea Shrine. Basically, we are stuck with just the main character and Maki. Thankfully, though, it's not a terribly long dungeon. It's relatively short. It's got a lot of floors to it, but each floor is really small. So I'll be quiet for Philemon here.
Well done in returning here. I see my faith in you was not misplaced. The Alea Cavern behind this shrine leads to the sea of all mankind's souls. All souls are born there, and someday return there. Maki Sanomura's soul is about to return to that sea right now. It calls for you, and for her ideal self. Now go. Only those who have been called may enter that cavern. Work together to help the lost soul.
Yes, we will. So, one of the things that I find very interesting about the Persona series as a whole is, even though Persona 1 and 2 are so kind of far removed from what Personas 3, 4, and 5 became, there's a lot of lore and stuff that kind of carried over, you know, that you can kind of recognize in these later games. So if you go that way, there's a healing spot, but we don't really need that. Okay, so one of the things you want to do in here is you want to kind of have one of your characters to have something that's strong against Expel and Miracle, and the other one of your characters to have something that's strong against death and curse damage, because there's a couple of enemies in here that can basically do that, and it's pretty bad when it happens. So I think these guys are actually weak to... I want to say they're actually weak to that. Yeah, cool. Which means they absorb that. Alright, cool. But we can just do this. Even though Maki's sword is relatively... not sword, her bow, excuse me, is actually pretty weak. She does decent damage with it. I think that's just the power of something that I've talked a bit about before, where even though you can do one really big hit, it's oftentimes in JRPGs better to do a bunch of little hits. So this is, like I said, there's a save point down south we don't need. So right now, only these two characters can go in here. This is one of the guys I was talking about. This is Karma Wrath. And let me see. Let me get this guy up. Unfortunately, none of these karma demons, you actually cannot negotiate with them, which is a shame. I might want to put Maki in the front row, actually. But they are weak, too. These Wraths are weak to Expel. I think they have a death attack. Let's actually change our form a little bit. Let's do that. And then that way she can attack with her, oh, what is it called? Her gun if she needs to. One of the things that I'm hoping will happen by the end of this is one of the main reasons that I like using Azrael is he knows Taru Kaja. He's one of the few personas in the game that actually knows that spell, and it's going to be amazing if I learn it. So let's see. Fortunately, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of auto battling in this due to the fact that, yeah, there we go. I want to be able to maximize my spell placement, basically. Since there's only the two of them, I don't have a lot of that coverage that I had before, where I have, you know, multiple people casting big AoE spells and stuff. So, gotta be really careful. So, alright. Chewing Soul. This time I actually have room for the Chewing Soul, so I'm not wasting them. But all in all, pretty, you know, not super impressive. Most of the treasures in the PSP version are very unimpressive. Like, they never give you any weapons. Okay, these guys... pretty... yeah, okay. Just go ahead and shoot him. Oh, it blocks bullets. Does that actually list that? Am I... oh, he knows all physical. Yeah. So just use Slumpa. It's fine. Both of those Karma Demons, all the Karma Demons, they look like masks. They're all weak to Expel, so Azrael is really good here. But some of them actually use death moves. There's an enemy in here that uses death. My brain is telling me it's one of those, oh man, why did I do that? I knew better than that, and I did it anyway. Fine, we'll just do this. So, one thing that you might notice here is that I'm still using the charm bullets on my submachine gun, even though technically there is a more powerful bullet. While I don't think that the status inflicting bullets are as powerful in this game as they are in, you know, We don't want to do that. In like SMT 1 and 2, they're still pretty good. Yeah, these guys either absorb or reflect bullets, so we don't want to do that. Do that. This should kill them all. Nice. Okay. And we want to go up, right? No, down. Alright, and we are now on B5. And there are treasure chests in this room here. Let's use by Koha here, since these are sucky. Oh, I thought there was one in the middle there, and there's not. I want to level my personas up as much as I can. Yeah, that's fine. So that thing says give puppet status. What that means is that if you use it on a dead person, then they will get back up, but they can't like use persona. They like pretty much just use physical attacks. I think that's how it works. I've never actually used it, so I may be like incorrect there. But it's like a weird type of revival. Crimson tablet. Just use that. And I forgot what the crimson tablet does. Is that... No, that's a totem item. Yeah, that's a totem. So let's use a couple of these chewing souls. Skip back up. I mean, I bought them to be used. They're incredibly cheap in this game. So I might as well. Alright, so these guys... It's fine, we'll just do that. That's not too bad. Alright, so Tengus are weak to electric, nuclear, gravity, and blast, which I don't really have any access to, so that's fine. Yeah, we'll just auto replay this, it's fine. They can drop Holy Writ tablets. The enemies from this point, about this point on, to the final dungeon, they will pretty much just constantly drop tablets. But pretty much... Okay, this is wrapped... How did this happen? Sorry, my stuff is wrapped around my foot. My cable, my PSP video cable. I have no idea how that happened. So, go this way. Let's see. By Kohu, and I don't think that'll work, but we'll try. Yeah, see, they have that guy has death, and